Hello, my lovely kids. I'm your English teacher Medhavi, and our today's chapter is Fair Play. It is by Munshi Premchand. It's from your English book Honeysuckle. Fair Play is actually an English translation of Munshi Premchand's story Panch Parmeshwar. So, without wasting time, let's get started. Has your best friend ever done something you thought was wrong? What did you do then? What was your reaction? Did you keep quiet or did you tell your friend what you thought? In this story, there are two friends who had to decide what was more important, friendship and enmity, or the sense of what is right and what is wrong. Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary were good friends. So strong was their bond of friendship that when either of them went away from the village, the other looked after his family. Both were greatly respected in the village. But suddenly, their friendship got a twist. And about this twist, we are going to know in this whole story. Before we proceed to the story, I would like to tell you something about Munshi Premchand. Dhanpat Rai Srivastava, better known by his pen name Munshi Premchand. He was an Indian writer famous for his modern Hindustani literature. He was born on 31st July 1880 in Varanasi and died on 8 October 1936 in Varanasi. He was also known as nickname Nawab. Let's read the story of friendship and affection. As you know, that Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary were best of friends. Their bond of friendship, their relationship with each other was very, very strong, and they were greatly respected in the village. Juman had an old aunt who had some property. This she transferred to him on the understanding that she would stay with him and he would look after her. The arrangement worked well for a couple of years. Then the situation changed. Jumman and his family were tired of the old relative. Jumman became as indifferent to her as his wife, who grudged even the little food that the old lady wanted every day. She swallowed these insults along with her food for a few months. But patience has its limits. One day she spoke to Jumman, "My son, it is now obvious that I am not wanted in your house. Kindly give me a monthly allowance so that I can set up a separate kitchen. My wife knows best how to run the house. Be patient," said Jumman shamelessly. This made his aunt very angry and she decided to take her case to the village panchayat. For many days the old lady was seen talking to the villagers, explaining her case and seeking their support. Some sympathized with her, others laughed at her, and a few others advised her to make it up with her nephew and his wife. Make it up means just compromise and behave properly and live in a harmonious way. At last she came to Algu Chaudhary and spoke to him. You know, and Algo said, Chachi, Jumman is my best friend. How can I go against him? But aunt replied, "But is it right, my son, to keep mum and not say what you consider just and fair? Come to the panchayat and speak the truth." Algu did not reply, but her words kept ringing in his ears. Now here a nice and a very famous friendship started having some kind of bitterness. How? As Algu became the part or even the head punch of the panchayat. The panchayat was held the same evening under an old banyan tree. Juman stood up and said, "The voice of the punch is the voice of God. Let my aunt nominate the head punch. I will abide by her decision. The punch knows neither friend nor enemy. What do you say to Algu Chaudhry?" the old lady announced. "Fine," replied Juman, hiding his joy over this unexpected piece of luck. "Chachi, you are aware of my friendship with Juman," said Algu. "I know that," replied the aunt, "but I also know that you will not kill your conscience for the sake of friendship. God lives in the heart of the punch, and his voice is the voice of God." And the old lady explained her entire case. "Juman," said Algu, "you and I are old friends. Your aunt is as dear to me as you. Now I am a punch. You and your aunt are equal before me. What have you to say in your defense?" "3 years ago," began Juman, "my aunt transferred her property to me. I promised to support her as long as she lived. I have done all I could. There have been a couple of quarrels between my wife and her, but I cannot stop it. Now my aunt is claiming a monthly allowance from me. This is not possible. That's all I have to say." Juman was cross-examined by Algu and others. Then Algu announced, "We have gone into the matter carefully. In our opinion, Juman must pay his aunt a monthly allowance, or else the property goes back to her." Now, the two friends were seldom seen together. Very rarely. They were not regularly seen together now. ऐसा होता ही नहीं था कि वो दोनों साथ में दिखे. The bond of friendship between them was broken. In fact, Juman was Algu's enemy and wanted his revenge. अब revenge का time कैसे आया? We will just see in this part. Days passed, and as ill luck would have it, Algu Chaudhry found himself in a tight spot. Tight spot means a dangerous or difficult situation. One of his fine pair of bullocks died, and he sold the other to Samju Sahu, a cart driver of the village. The understanding was that Sahu would pay the price of the bullock in a month's time. It so happened that the bullock died within a month. Several months after the bullock's death, Algu reminded Sahu of the money he hadn't yet paid. Sahu got very annoyed. "I can't pay you a penny for the wretched beast you sold me. He brought us nothing but ruin. I have a bullock. Use it for a month and then return it to me." "No money for the dead bullock," he said angrily. Algu decided to refer the case to the panchayat. For a second time in a few months, preparation for holding the panchayat were made, and both the parties started meeting people seeking their support. The panchayat was held under the old banyan tree. Algu stood up and said, "The voice of the punch is the voice of God. Let Sahu nominate the head punch. I'll abide by his decision." Sahu saw his chance and proposed the name of Juman. Algu's heart sank. He was scared. Now he lost hope. वो बहुत डर गया and he turned pale. पीला पड़ गया literally because he knew कि मेरी जो है वो जुम्मन से अच्छी बनती नहीं है. Now it's the time to revenge. But what could he do? But the moment Juman became head punch, he realized his responsibility as judge and the dignity of his office. Could he, seated in that high place, have his revenge now? He thought and thought. No, he must not allow his personal feelings to come in the way of speaking the truth and doing justice. Both Algu and Sahu stated their cases. They were cross-examined and the case was considered deeply. Then Juman stood up and announced, "It is our opinion that Sahu should pay Algu the price of the bullock. When Sahu bought the bullock, it suffered from no disability or disease. The death of the bullock was unfortunate, but Algu cannot be blamed for it." Algu could not contain his feeling. He stood up and said loudly over and over again, "Victory to the panchayat. This is justice. God lives in the voice of the punch." In Panch Parmeshwar it was written, "Panch Parmeshwar ki jai." Panch Parmeshwar means the person who is sitting there to do justice is equal to God. As God does not know anything good or bad, everybody is equal for him. The same thing goes for the person who is sitting to do justice. So Panch is equal to Parmeshwar. God lives in the voice of the Panch. Soon after, Juman came to Algu, embraced him, means hugged him, and said, "Since the last Panchayat, I had become your enemy. Today, I realized what it means to be a Panch. A Panch has no friend nor enemy. He knows only justice. Let no one deviate from the path of justice and truth for friendship or enmity." Algu embraced his friend and wept, means cried, and his tears washed away all the dirt of misunderstanding between them. Justice returned, and so returned love and harmony between two friends. That is it for today, my lovely kids. I hope you enjoyed the story. Do not forget to share your experiences when your friend did something wrong and you tried to stop them, or you just ignored it, or you did something wrong and your friend either stopped you or ignored you. I'll meet you soon with another chapter. Stay healthy, stay safe, and take care of your family. Goodbye.